So I wanted to talk more about this. When Frankie was raped, my brother was raped when I was 5 years old in front of me. I was desperately running to protect him when I was just a kid, and I made drawings and whatnot, but I can't express enough. I was like always like glue with Frankie. Where's Frankie? Where's Frankie? Hey Frankie, you wanna go play? You wanna go play Nintendo? Hey Frankie. Hey Frank. Like we were always buddies. We were very close buddies. And this had happened. I got raped as well whenever I was with my uncle. He mysteriously died, and my grandpa had a stroke. The way that Frankie rescued me and the way I rescued him is something out of a horror story that is that of the highest level of, you know, heroic actions a little child can take with an impossible choice. You know, a child is placed, a child, myself and Frankie had something placed in front of us that was an impossible choice for our age to take on. And I talked about Frankie hiding me, and I talked about Frankie, all the psychosis Frankie was having when he was raped and at school because of Miguel. Well, when we went over there, I was about this was right before or right after my brother. I think Miguel is the one that took Frankie's virginity, or not virginity. I know that sounds awful to say, but it's the one that first penetrated him that I know of, because it was right before my uncle Robert had raped Frankie, and this whole dilemma that he went crazy in, and he was an ex-military person, and I remember running like hell, trying to say, like, something bad happened to Frankie. Frankie disappeared. And I was running. And Miguel's like, where are you? Like, and this is whenever one day I look, and Frankie was in the garage, and he was giving him a blowjob. And I could hear him. And Frankie was hiding, and Miguel threatened him to say, and Frankie goes, go away, Hector. Miguel's doing something. I'm doing something right now. I'm looking for Frankie. You know where Frankie is? You know where Frankie is? I'm looking for Frankie. I can't find Frankie. I'm looking everywhere. I can't find. Don't worry about it. Go home. Go home, Hector. And this is what he was doing. Well, the next day, or a couple days later, I walk into the backyard and I catch what's happening. And he's in this garage shed. And in this garage shed, I'm not kidding you, he has a full erection, and he's giving oral sex to Frankie. Like, he's forcing Frankie. Frankie's 7 years, I think 7 or 8 years old. I'm about 4 or 5 years old. And I'm like a little kid, and I'm just looking, and he is like this over Frankie. He's like this over Frankie. Like, pretend this is a little boy. He's over like this, like Frankie, and going like this, and just raping him. Oh, you like him? You fuck you in real good. And he was going, and he was raping my brother, and he was ejaculating inside my brother, that it was filling up his colon, and it was dripping all over the floor. Dripping semen, a lot of semen, a lot of fucking, and you could smell. And when Frankie looked at me, he goes like this, and he goes, ah! Like he started the scream. The scream and face that he had was of pure pain. And Frankie, he had molded Frankie to say, no, we're going to have playtime. See, we're going to be friends now. Look, we're going to have friends. And he begins raping him. And I look at him, and as soon as he ejaculates, he pulls out a little bit. And he goes like this, and he goes, and he's a bull, like he's a raging bull, like Ken Cooper. You see what a big, tough bull he is. And this is what he does. And he starts, and he just seeps the sperm. And I'm standing in front of the garage like this, and before he starts raping Frankie, this happens. Right before it. I don't know what happened, but I asked Frankie, wow, what are you doing, Frankie? He goes, oh yeah, this is fun. We're having fun time. And it was like fun or something. He was like grooming us like it was a fun or something. And he had poisoned Frankie's head so beyond anything you could ever imagine. And I think of Ken Cooper when I think of this, how Sarah Cooper got away with it by not doing this to my mother and father, not saying anything. And Ken Cooper threatened my father. I was there and I saw it in his police uniform, that he could fucking rape him like that because he's your police officer uniform, and you're gonna feel sorry because that's why he did this the whole time, and he knew and he was afraid that I was gonna find out. I'm gonna go in another video on this. When my father died, he was scoping everything out to see if I was gonna be able to remember, because he remembered that I looked like I knew what was going on, and he didn't want anything like that to happen. And so the revenge that he took was go after Hector. Yeah, you see, I built the church, and that's why he did that. So, and this is why Sarah Cooper knew about it as well. I was there, I witnessed it. And anyway, when Miguel was raping, right before he raped Frankie, Miguel said, "Do you want some? Do you want me to give you some?" And he had an erection, and he was like this. He had his erection, and he was just like, you see, let me give you some. And he goes like, kind of like that, and Frankie, and I go, and I don't know what's going on, because I'm thinking that I've never seen sex like this. I don't even know what this is. I just know that something is hard, he's erecting, and Frankie's on his knees giving oral sex before he starts penetrating him. And he orders Frankie, like after he gives him, blowjob, he orders him, take your pants down. Like, he gets really horny, and he goes to Frankie, and he's like, and after he give him oral sex, right, then he turns around and he goes, someone can kill, and he goes like, and he starts raping my brother. But before he does that, I asked, and I know it sounds really crazy, I asked Frankie, and I don't know if I got on my knees for a moment, or I just walked over to him, not knowing, because Frankie's like, oh, come here. Or Miguel said, come here. And Frankie was like, oh no, see, this is fun. Oh, this is fun. This tastes good or something. And Frankie is full. I cannot tell you how crazy this is. And I'm 5 years old. This is right before I met Michael Jackson, or right after. And I approached this situation. And I don't remember if I went over there and I gave him oral sex for just a second, and then Frankie pushed me away. And he says, no, not you. You stay over there. You stay. No, not you. No, you just stay right there. And I don't know what it was. But it wasn't like, oh, Hector's going to take my fun part away. It was like, no, not you, Hector. I can't let this bad stuff happen to you. This bad stuff is not supposed to happen to you. It's not supposed to. You stay over there. No, not you. And this is what he did in certain segments, and other segments was completely opposite, when my grandpa and my uncle raped both of us. So I wanted to make sure that I stood back away, and I was like, whoa. And I was like, oh wow, what are you doing? And what shook me the most is when he got done fucking Frankie, is that before that happened, right before he because there was semen and feces and semen coming out of Frankie's rectum, and he began ejaculating all over the floor. So he goes like this, and he's raping my brother Frankie, right? Because remember, Ken Cooper, he's a good guy, right? Sarah Cooper's a nice little angel to the little kids, though, huh? And he's like, ugh. And he just starts like throwing sperm all over the fucking ground. And I recall that when that happened, right before Frankie, the scream and expression of pain was, it's nothing. There's very few instances in life where I'd ever seen any kid cry like that. And Frankie held that in whenever we were living at our house, because sometimes Frankie sometimes liked cracking jokes, and he tried to give an expression on his face, and he couldn't in front of me, and he'd stall. And he'd look at me, and he'd be like, I'm trying to move on, Well, these images stayed with me when Ken Cooper showed up in his police uniform, harassing my father in front of me. And he goes, yeah! Now, Christian Nivelle already made that expression. This is very articulate. That's what I'm talking about. Now watch where they're going to place me. They're going to have Kenneth showing the picture. And Kenneth Cooper knew about this, that worked at the radio station. Because I went to his apartment, and I don't know if he knew or he thought I knew. But I know that he wouldn't have behaved that way because he thought that maybe I knew. But I remember Kenneth going like this. Yeah, he's old. He goes, yeah, this like it's in that room right over there, and he goes like this. But I don't know. But he did that because he was talking about Miguel. He knows. He's at the radio station broadcasting to show you how Keno is real cool with the black niggas, to show you what hip hop is with the faggots and the gays. Fuck a little kid in the ass, act real cool with hip hop. You know, sing a rap song about it because his dad's a hero. It has nothing to do with this. So I want to make this very clear in how this white supremacy and this congruent of homosexuality and transgender of what they're doing. Now, when he showed up to that police uniform, he was taunting my father and didn't tell my father. For the next 8 years, began to do this, and I was a hero. I saved my brother from 8 motherfuckers, including being poisoned directly and also molested. And when I was about to get molested and raped, I fought every time. I swear to God, I even fought Julian Frank and my own brother once. Fought him, and more than once, and shaking him like, don't let him do this to you. No, they're doing something bad. Me running out the fucking front door, scared. I mean, all kinds of crazy. 8 to 9, I drew pictures and I put all their names down and I sent the book to my mother. This is not about Christianity and Jesus shit. Nah, that's all garbage. And there's more to this world. Who is doing what? And that's the pig right there, because he is the equal. He's the equal of Miguel, and so is Sarah, of how that pig did this shit. And all these white cowboys want to glorify him as a hero and clean up after that pig piece of shit. In this lifetime, there is no more recovery. There is no recovery for justice. It's all going to be waiting for an afterlife. Because in this lifetime, there was no crime that he ever thought he did. He knew he did a crime. A crime that he thought he shouldn't have and give a free coupon on his personal orders. He went to my dad just 2 years after the gun incident, a year after the gun incident, to Las Vegas to win a bunch of money on a gambling trip. Oh, hey, how did your son get raped in the ass? Did I tell you that? Remember Sarah Cooper laughed at the funeral? Remember Miguel? I don't even know why the fuck Miguel showed up to the funeral. I'm so mind blown. You're disrespecting my father. Frankie's right there. You just raped him. You kept him in his cage and he's wearing his military uniform. And Sarah Cooper's laughing. And Lecha shows up, who poisoned me and was responsible. I cannot, and my dad's in a dead casket right there. And Ken and Sarah Cooper are the ones that told me they paid for the casket and the funeral. That's why I was able to get some of my dad's last financial money, which was like $7,000, and I got $7,000 for the house. $125,000. If you do the math and everything, it was outrageous. I put my life earnings into this. I got nothing for it, and they towed my car anyway. He sent the police officers and they towed my car, and they took the $7,000 anyway from me. They took all that, the memories, everything, the money, everything. They just took it and wasted my youth, so that I just suffer for that moment. That's what they did. So I want to make this video understand that this is the reality of this information that's being circled around at all the places that I'm going to. This was happening. All the homosexuals are in a frenzy to protect, save, pleasure, give him a forgiveness story, and keep him comfortable. Not a day in jail and prison. Not a day in jail. You want me to show you the 25 tickets that they gave me right after I got chemotherapy and a transplant? Oh, but that's a different story. Please run and get help. They're going to exterminate me. They're going to rape me. They're going to continue. They've already done this. Please understand how serious this is, okay? I got about a few seconds left. Understand how serious this is. These predators are rapists. They want me, and they want to sell me for sex. This is horrors, and they're justifying it. Stop putting your religion in anything that's good. These people were hardcore Christians. Jesus bullshit. You're not going to do that to me. So I want to say this because there's other videos I want to make. They're all in the gay community in circle about that rape that had happened. He did this in front of me.